And good evening, everyone, and welcome back to FPRL. It's a Wednesday night, which only means one thing for it. It's time for the Tier 2s to take us round the roller coaster of a track that is Portimao in the Algarve in Portugal. In the comms box tonight is myself, Crosscrew 1888, joined by,
Major Allen 99.
Adriel in the comms box once again. So looks like we'll be keeping him for the rest of the season, as we have Diamond Dushi doing the usual first thing out on track. So we will probably get a good lap time from him so far in the Haas. Alan, obviously you've seen last week's race. I fully have not seen it yet. I did see the winner and the podium. What kind of expectations are we looking from the Tier 2s this season? Is there any big front runners, or is it all quite bunched in together?
I I must admit, I did the first social and the race out of Australia. One to be looked out for is Sultan Kappa in the Kicksaba. He was showing the likes of Silverside Boy, Diamond Duchy, how to race. He was getting in, I think ended up in the top three. So he's one to watch out for.
We'll keep an eye on him then. Once the laps do start coming in, see if he can keep that kick cyber up towards the top of the standings during this qualifying session. But as I say, Diamond Dushi out first, will be the first one to set a lap. And as he's coming around the last corner, Alan, do you want to take us around this wonderful track that is Portimao?
Yep, got a lovely long DRS into turn one, getting the inside corner nicely. Try not to go too deep on the brakes because you will end up going off. Try not. I kept catching the curb there before the sector one time and going off, so be careful with that. Catches the inside nicely. Bit twitchy on the exit, but it's everyone's worst track. I don't like it. Gets the curb on the inside. Just clips the curb on the exit before going up the hill and down the hill. Coming up to the second DRS. Don't want to go too wide there because it will invalidate you. Gets it nice and perfect. Coming up the hill towards the final few corners at Portugal. Still got quite a bit of battery left for this nice long DRS of straight. Keeps it nice and tight. Doesn't follow the racing line. It goes with a
Yeah,
117.3.
I think we might be seeing a bit of that tonight. Obviously, with the tighter line, we will be seeing a few quicker lap times. And if you do take the racing line, as we see the Red Bull of Liam come across the line, it's 117.4, just under what 400ths in behind Diamond Dushi. And speaking of one of the Haas drivers, there's the other one, a Biddle, 117 dead, just cannot break into the 16s just yet, but sure we'll see a couple of drivers break into the 16s no problem tonight. So it's a Haas 1-2. Interestingly, we have a couple of medium runners at the minute. They are Mongo and Groundsy, both of the Williams guys, so they're looking probably just to save a bit of tyres, maybe just get a bit of extra practice. We see Gary has invalidated, so that is going to be one thing to definitely look out for tonight. It's going to be quite easy to get the track limit warnings, so we could see plenty of penalties coming people's way.
Yeah,
We're right on board with Radical through the end of the first sector, getting a nice toe from his teammate in front of Steele. Maybe just slightly in the way on exit, but he's going to stick with him for the looks like going to be the rest of the lap. These two teammates, obviously, they're two quick drivers. Radical, we know, came up from Tier 3 2 seasons ago. Looks like with this, the way we've been able to pick our teammates, Alan, these are quite strong teams that we do have in Tier 2
yeah.
at the minute,
Oh
just by the
god,
look of
yeah.
it. But as we stay on board then with Radical coming up towards the last sector, still in tow with his teammate. It'd be interesting to see, does he go quicker than Steele, or does he feel like he has been held up slightly? Let's see, Regmeister up at the top as well, 117.1. Cruiser with a 1:17.3. But as the two V carbs come round the last corner, using up all the battery with the DRS, taking that short line to the finish line, it's at 8th for Steel and 10th for Radical. So it's not exactly what they wanted. Go ahead.
Just looking at anyway. Mongo's just coming to the end of a lap from the mediums. Just coming around the last corner now. Fish just managed to get into the 1:16s. I think Mongo. Mongo with 1:18.5, just in front of his teammate.
So Mongo takes the bragging rights for the Williams at the minute. Obviously, both of them on the medium tire, so they will not be anywhere near the top step for qualifying just yet. But we will go on board with last week's race winner as Biddle comes across the line, set at 16.8. We stay on board with the Kick Cyberman of Bread is Cool. Held off last week, a very late safety car and pressure from Cruiser. With a bit of a mistake through turn 9 and 10 round Australia, he still managed to hold on to it. So can he convert last week's win into at least a pole position tonight as he comes around the last corner, using up every single bit of his battery he can. DRS is open. He takes the wide line. Is that costing him? It's a 17.5, so he's 7/10 away at the minute. As Gary came across the line as well with his 17.5, just pips the Kick Cyber. But yeah, it looks like we're carrying on from last season with the Haas of Biddle. He just seems to be great in qualifying, it looks, as we've seen it all last season. Oh.
Yeah, he was so quick in the last season. Yeah, go back, as I was saying, to the pre-season race at Bahrain. Yeah, Sultan Kepper actually beat the likes of Snedden and Diamond Duchy. So he's a one to keep an eye on.
As he's in the pit, so we will definitely keep an eye on him as the minutes do tick down. Liam decides to lock the tires as we see who is on a lap. Snedden isn't on a lap. See, does he want to go around again, try to put a bit of pressure on the Haas of Biddle, or will he just decide to pull into the pits, which he does? Down the field, TJ, he is on hot lap and he's just invalidated, so that's the end of his one. Gary, no, go on board with Steele as he's finishing his lap, which is already invalid. So looks like we're getting a bit of a quiet spell now. One that might be on a lap though is Dynamo Dan in the Mercedes. Obviously it's not really the pace probably expected as he gets a big slide coming down the hill. Caught it well though, but we do know Dynamo Dan from a couple of seasons ago had great pace, and it just seems to have all died off in this new game.
He has gone to wheel though, so he is trying wheel racing, which I found out last week and the week before. So he's trying something slightly different.
So that would probably explain everything then. Still hasn't got bedded in with the wheel. But we only have one driver that is out on track that is still yet to set a lap time. That is the Alpine of Ruymaster. As we come up towards the uphill braking, the right-hander just needs to watch it on exit with a bit of traction loss. Gets that well done. Come back down the hill. It's just such a roller coaster of a track, this one. Back up the hill and to come back down the hill on exit of this one. Can he keep it within limits? He cannot. The car likes the understeer out on the exit. So that's the lap gone for him. Go on board with his teammate then of Regmeister, sitting P4 at the minute, 3/10 in behind the Haas of Biddle. As we come up.
I've just seen on Twitch, Gary's just put he's got no assist already on wheel, so gonna take a bit of time for Dynamo Dan to get his bearings right.
I think maybe by the end of the season he'll be well used to that, and we could see him on the podium maybe a few times and hopefully sometimes on the top step of that podium. But we'll stay on board with Regmeister as he's coming through the second sector. We will get a split time here. He's 2 tenths up. It's just not enough. He'll need another tenth in this last sector to knock Biddle off provisional pole. Gets it nicely done, coming up towards the penultimate corner. Gets the car turned in nicely and gets on the power nice and early all the way. Now uses his battery, trying to keep the inside line. Hugs that curb. Well, he hugged it all the way to the line. He runs it out a bit more. And it's a 16.5, so a great improvement in the last sector from Regmeister to knock Biddle off the top spot by 3 tenths. So that could be one for Biddle to really have to go and push everything. But the guy in P3 in the McLaren, we've seen it before from Fish Sticks. He can pull out the pace whenever he wants to. So he's coming right round the penultimate corner, doesn't use his overtake, keeps it in hot lap. Might cost him a little bit of speed. But comes to the line. Can he get provisional pole? Just beats Biddle up into P2. So it's still that 3 tenths gap at the top. Let's see who else. We'll go on board with Sultan Kepa, the one you have set on to look out for in the Kick-Sauber. He is coming to the line. It's going to be a 16. No, it's a 17-1. Just in behind his teammate. So 2 Kick-Saubers going to be side by side if it stays like this here. But with what, 6 minutes to go on, you really impressed by anybody, or is there someone really letting you down with how this qualifying session is going at the minute?
At the moment, I expected the likes of Silverstone Boy to be in the top half of the draw at the moment, but he struggles more with qualifying at the moment. Some races he can be alright, but it depends on what track he's racing at.
Well, you're hoping for improvement. Coming around the last corners now, so hopefully you can find a couple of tenths at least to try to push him up into 5th or 6th. Doesn't have any traffic in front to the line, so it should be alright for him. See 13, 14, 15. It might be a low 17. Or he breaks into the 16s. 16.739. Matches Snedden to the 1000th. And unfortunately for him, he just set it second time round. So P3 and 4 for the two McLarens. What a lap.
Well, I did not honestly expect the same time as Snedden. I must admit, I've done one before with the flow. I've set the exact same time as the flow on one track before, and it's like, how? You don't get that very often.
No, you do not. Definitely flashbacks to Jerez 97. We've got 2. Can we make it 3? Was Remaster is coming towards the end of his second sector. He's 2.5 seconds down, so no worries on that one. TJ just sets his lap. P9 for him, 17.2. So a bit of improvement, up 3 or 4 positions. As Radical gets slightly pushed down. And Steele, I was just about to say, was all the way down in P16. Up into P10 now with that lap. He will be able to get back in and out again to get for one more go in the V-Carb. And interestingly, Lexus, one of the Mercedes, has just decided he's going to start his out lap now and start his full lap. So we'll stay on board with Lexus since he has not been able to set a lap time just yet. Everybody, most people are in the pits, changing up their tires with about 3.5 minutes to go in the session, dumping all the fuel out. We'll get a first sector time from Lexus here in the Mercedes. It is a 22.2. It says it's purple. Whether it is or not, I am pretty sure it's not, because it's his first lap.
No.
As he comes up towards the tricky double right-hander, the uphill braking. It's all about the exit here. Can he get the foot down soon enough? He does. Comes back down the hill. Helps keep that speed up through the quick left-hander. Now again to another double right-hander. Slight downhill braking. Again, the car wants to push out on exit. Keeps it within the limits. As we come up at the start of the last sector for Lexus. He's hoping to at least get midfield, I would say, in this Mercedes. Maybe even push up towards the top 5. If he can break into the 16s, I think he'll be pretty happy with that one. Only setting the 1 lap, because he still has plenty of battery to use to the line with the DRS. It's going to be a 17.8, so it's only P18 for the Mercedes man. He needs to hope he has fuel in that car, because he needs to save everything he has, because he has to go again.
Bruce's just split the two McLarens.
That is kind of Cruiser kicking off from last week with his P2. Keeping that Aston Martin up there, it looks like. He will probably get one more go at this. We have seen Cruiser before. He's already done 2 laps on them set of tyres. We've seen him do this a couple of times. Ooh. As Biddle comes across the line, a 16.5. What's that? 9 thousandths between the top 2? Who said tier 2 isn't close? You've got 9,000 separating top 2. P3 and P4 at the exact same time. A half a tenth separates P4 to P5. This is just madness. As everybody looks like they're going to be starting their final laps. One of them is Snedden in the Aston Martin, who's starting off his lap, so we will keep an eye on him towards the end of the session. See, Fishsticks, one of the McLarens just got split by Cruiser. See how he does. Keeps just within the limits on exit. There's a bit of traffic of the Ferrari, gets well out of the way before he even get to the braking zone. Comes back down the hill. It's just a pure roller coaster here, Alan. It's just up, down, left, right. There's no time to breathe, it seems now around here. Anyway, Fishsticks goes through second sector split. It's just over a tenth slower, so he needs a mega last sector to try to improve on his time. He might get a bit of help from the Alpine in front with a bit of a tow, which looks like that's going to be the case. The Alpine giving the McLaren a tow. This could hurt, because that's Regmeister, I think, in front. Fishsticks just cannot improve. So it's Regmeister starts his last go at this one. Snedden hasn't got a chance.
Light. Might be a due inquiry after that.
Closing distance was getting pretty quick between the Alpine and the McLaren. Fishsticks maybe the slight little wave to show a bit of agitation. But we have one of the Ferraris coming towards the line. That is going to be TJ. We'll see what he can set. He is well off the pace, so we don't need to worry about that one. But it's all now down to Gary. He's just over a tenth off his time. He needs a mega last sector. He proved one last lap. Can he get it again this lap? Just misses out by another 3 tenths. So that's his qualifying done. Snedden did get another chance at the lap, but it's all about Regmeister, it looks like here. As we see one of the kick cybers, it is Brett is cool, stays in P10. As we have one of the Williams, I think it is, of Mongo, who improves P13 for the Williams, so that's not too bad for him. Go back to the top, it's all on Snedden, and he's invalidated again. So it looks like, barring anything, Biddle once again claims pole, unless Sultan Kepa, he's 2 tenths up. He needs some mad last sector. He's used up all of his battery. What can he do in that kick cyber? It's up to P7 and was 16.9, so just breaks in. But that looks like that is it.
Yep.
Radical in the pits. So Biddle, once again, on pole position in tier 2. He's kind of making a thing of this now, it looks like, Alan.
Yeah, he's starting to get the hang of his P1 start with Lears. Yeah, he's gonna be a one to watch this season, but qualifying, ended up giving everyone some interesting battles since turn 1.
This is going to be quite an interesting one going into turn 1. Obviously, a bit of a long run into it, and how tight. As we just see the onboard from Biddle, just the whole road kind of closes into one pinch point. So if we do see 2 wide, we probably see one of the cars have to dive out of it and go way out wide. But that is qualifying done, and it's only 11 thousandths that separate the top two of Biddle and Regmeister. P3 for Snedden, P4 for Gary, P5 for Cruiser. Not too bad of a showing from him. It seems like he's pretty happy with it in the chat. Fishsticks takes P6, Sultan Keppa in the Kickcyber takes P7, Ben takes P8, TJ takes P9, and Liam rounds off the top 10 in the Red Bull, 5/10 off. So as qualifying has finished, we'll just quickly look through the chat as we see that Ads is not pleased, to say the least, that Biddle gets pole here. He's some sort of stain. As Gary says, he's messed up turn 1 in the nicest way possible. Brett is still saying it was dreadful, and Ads celebrating that Arsenal are 1-0 down already. The joys of being an Arsenal fan for some people, God help them.
Luckily, I don't support football.
You're the lucky one, I think. Yeah, a couple of minutes till we start. We'll do the good old Cruiser line. What do you want to talk about?
But I'm not too bothered at the moment because it's going to be interesting on eyewear around here because as what I saw on Monday when I raced Monday, it could vary. You could have a good setup and still start a lot on the hards, but then later on you'll suffer a bit later on in it, so it's all depending on what strategy.
Well, obviously, you've raced this on Monday.
Yeah.
So, what was the main strategy, I would say, for most people in that race?
Most went mediums to start. I decided to go on the hards, which was a bit of a backfire. I think it was complete. We had a terrible start. I just kept getting too many warnings and going off, and this track is very easy to get them. There's so many corners you can get them go wide or too tight. And you went, I've just looked at it, I've just seen that.
Ads.
I've just seen that.
That's just not nice. I know it's Gary, but at least give him the turn 2. Well, we've already spoke about the pinch point of turn 1. It is definitely going to be a talking factor, I think, because I don't think they're going to try to go single file through it. I just cannot see that happening. So I would expect carnage. I don't hope there will be, but I expect it.
I thought you was meant to be watching the movie ads, not watching the Twitch stream.
FPRL is life, Alan. You have to learn these things.
I know,
this is basically going to be a movie in about 2 minutes with how this could go down.
Especially with Bidley, he won. He keeps showing off.
The thing with Biddle, he always gets P1, but he just cannot convert it to the win. Maybe tonight will be the night.
We'll soon find out.
Well, Ads, he's in good hands, so he is doing his job correctly. Let's just say that out.
So, Ad, you can do next week's comms because I won't be able to do it. I'm working.
We should not be much longer till we get the 5 red lights and get this show on the road. But as always,
From the looks of it, most of them on the mediums. Soft, but there's only one driver at the moment decided to go on the hards. That's Lexus.
I think if you're a hard runner around here at the start, you kind of need a couple of things to go your way. I think you need a perfectly timed safety car to really boost your chances. But I suppose he's way down in the field. Cross Ads back again. Oh yes, for 1 week only, Ads. We bring back 2 seasons ago, that's all it is. we are still waiting. Oh, no, we're not, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are away in Portugal, and it is Biddle. It looks like he's got a good start. Regmeister, though, in behind, doesn't look like he has. Snedden round the outside is going to try to do it. Two McLarens are going side by side. You see a bit of a pinch point we were talking about. We're 4 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 into the wall, it looks like. All of them keep it out. Ben, Brett is cool, and TJ all just trying to fight for the same space. And luckily for them, they've got no damage, so they can continue in this race. But we knew it was coming. You see something, Kepa goes down the inside of Cruiser. Not a great start for the Aston Martin driver. Still trying to pick his way up as well in the midfield, it looks like. Getting that position on ground Z to take him up to 10th. But yeah, we said about turn 1, and I think we were right on.
Yep, and we have got one person that has come out with some wing damage. And that is Yorkie.
So that probably was going to be a big brake check then between turn 1 and turn 2. And he might have just been caught out by that. The right front end plate we can't see. So that will be hampering him more around this track, as it is a clockwise circuit. Especially through the fast stuff that we do see at the last corner. As I will start getting the telemetry up. As Biddle leads us for the first lap. Kind of expected, but what we do see though is Fishsticks getting a move down the inside of Snedden to take P3. So it looks like Fishsticks is on the charge, but Snedden's not wanting to let that one go easy. Has a little look again through turn 3, but can't get anything done. We do see a couple of soft runners, which means I need to go on the tyres, as we do see actually quite a split between the softs and the mediums, with the one lone hard runner that is Lexus. So it could be an interesting strategy for him, as we do have a yellow at the back. That is Dynamo Dan. We do see him spun. So that's not what the Mercedes driver wanted, as he does leave. A nice set of 11s. Big burnout for him. That's going to heat up the tyres pretty nicely. But Biddle just can't push outside of this 1 second barrier just yet. So it looks like these top two could be pretty happy to DRS train this one and try to break the rest of the field. Fishsticks 1.5 in behind. Yeah, what a start. And a couple of drivers that really have lost out in that one.
Yeah, they've got Ben, TJ, and Buddy's cool. TJ had that bit of contact at the start, Buddy's cool. Down 7 places, so they need to get these parts of theirs. They were mediums and softs, so they've just got to try and get these. Well, TJ, especially with these softs, he's got to get these softs going and get in front of these medium runners.
Stuck behind one of them, which is Ben, who was involved in that collision as well. So we did see Liam and Cruiser fighting. Now it's Liam and Steele. Steele gets down the inside. Bit of action at the back again, as it looks like Daniel Dan has spun again. He is struggling then with the no assists. But Liam, though, gets one down the inside. A bit of contact, it looks like, with Steele. It's spun Steele round. And he is a sitting duck now. He has to wait for everybody to get past. That's him down in P19. But crucially, has he got any damage? Oh, big damage. Not a single bit of his front wing is left. So someone has collected him. And I can't even see who that would have been. I don't see any damage from anybody else, so someone looks like they've got very lucky. But at the top two, they've already pulled a 2.3 second gap on Fishsticks. So at the minute, it's Reg and Biddle fighting for this win. As another yellow flag again. Dynamo Dan really looks like he is struggling. There is a couple of bad traction zones around here, and it looks like they're starting to catch him out. To P4 with Snedden. Has to defend from one McLaren. Couldn't do that. He has to defend from the second one. He puts the nose down the inside. Gary going side by side with Snedden. Has to try to stick one around the outside if he wanted to. Decides a lot better of it. Decides to back out of it. And it is as you were for them too. There's definitely going to be plenty of chances in this race with that long DRS straight. People like Snedden in behind Fishstick should be getting a massive toe and should get the chance down into turn 1. Looks like kind of everything has settled down now.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Not much else I can see apart from looks like Dynamo Dan spinning for about a 4th time.
Like Gary said, he's trying to get used to no assist on wheels, so it's going to take him a bit of time to get used to the setup.
Looks
He's
like
got
ads.
Got Grancy going for move on Yorkie, which has allowed Mongo to get right up behind Yorkie. Yorkie has got, both Yorkie and Mongo have got slight wing damage, so that has now affected Mongo.
Both have the wing damage, and Mongo now has a 3-second time penalty hanging over his head. That's not what he needed. But Cruiser and Diamond Dushi are fighting. Cruiser got the move done on Diamond, as Ben gets a move done also on Mongo. But at the front, that gap is starting to stabilise at 2.5. And a couple of laps time, them softs will start to die off, as Steele is the second one to join the 3-second club, and Dynamo Dan has called it a night already, it looks like. But interestingly though, Snedden has not been able to get a move done on Fishsticks, and even more, he might not have even got the DRS. He's just stuck inside it. So he's a lucky boy this lap, but he might not be so lucky next lap, because he hardly has any battery compared to what Fishsticks has.
It's more than Gary. He's only got 10%.
So the Aston Martin
struggling.
Is in a Macca sandwich at the minute. Can't get his way out of it yet. The two Maccas are sitting pretty happily, as we see. Looks like the Alpine of Brewmaster either getting out of the way or just struggling. We actually see side-by-side action with Brediscoe and Brewmaster, as Brediscoe gets that one done to take P16, not the start he wanted after that turn 1 collision. So he needs a mega drive to try to get back up on the top tip of the podium, as he tries to look down the inside of Radical. Going to make that their outside now. Will he go for the cutback? Just can't get that done. Well defended by Radical for now, but Brediscoe is starting to look feisty. He looks like he's wanting to get back up through this field as quick as he can.
Going back to the front of the field, I believe Richmond starts going for a move from Bidley. Way before the corner. And he's made it stick.
Just seen how powerful that DRS is when you don't have anybody in front. Such a long straight, and how it starts at the start of the straight. It is basically whoever's in front is a sitting duck. Maybe this is the point where we're seeing these soft runners start to die off a bit, as that gap now to 3.8 down to Fishsticks. These two are still pulling away, make that near 4 seconds now. And interestingly though, they're not fighting, so they're not kind of being stupid with it. But Gary is all over the back of Snedden, not giving him a second to breathe. You might probably Monday, was there many guys go for the undercut? Because I would say it would be pretty powerful around here.
I must admit the undercut on this one was quite good. If people decided to pit early and go long on hards, then it's worth the gamble. Some people did that on Monday and it worked. But some people have got different strategies, so what they want to do.
It's just saying it because Sultan Kepa, who's just got past Silverside Boy, aka Gary, so he's pushed himself up to P5. He is the one you said to look out for. At the minute, he's starting to make it a good one, as Yorkie is the next one to join the club. So that's 3 seconds over his head. Salt and Kepa look for a little move down the inside of Snedden. Thought a lot better of that one. We'll give it one more go later on in the lap, maybe. Yeah, we see these, what, 5-6 runners? You know, surely one of them on the mediums will probably be thinking, I want to get off these. It might feel like they're getting held up in a couple of laps' time. Try to get some massive undercut, because I do believe the tire tag is pretty high around here. And if it's not, then it really should be, because this track is a absolute roller coaster, to say the least. Liam at the back of this pack, though, putting the pressure on Cruiser, who's had quite a quiet race, it looks like. Hasn't been able to make any inroads, but again, he is in this train, so there's not much he can really do. It needs really a miracle to happen for to try to do something with that. As we see Cruiser be the first one to go into the pit lane. We should see him stick on a set of hard tyres, try to bring them to the end, or he might be trying to go for the two-stopper.
Yorkie's in as well. He might be in for a new wing as well.
Cruiser does stick on the hard tyres, and Yorkie does decide to get that wing changed. As we see Snedden go for a move down the inside of Fish Sticks, just about leaves enough space on the exit. They're still going to be side by side coming to the double right-hander. Goes round the outside, and what a move by Snedden. Great move down the inside, just about left the car's width and the penny. And Fish Sticks really had nothing to do with that one. Maybe these tyres are starting to die off, and he cannot do much about it, because now he's got the kick cyber of Salt and Kepa right in behind, waiting to pounce on any mistake that he makes.
Yeah, just waiting on to see how long these mediums last. Obviously, Cruiser's had enough with tyres, so he's obviously decided to try the undercut and go on the hards for the rest of the race. 23 laps, plenty enough.
I'm saying it's probably about a 21-22 second gap. If I just go to try to be very quickly about it, between Cruiser and the back of this field, so we'll keep an eye on that gap and see how much that does come down by. As Liam has a little look down the inside of Gary, slight lock up as well, which didn't help anything with that. But Salt and Kepa now, Fish Sticks got done last lap down and turned towards turn 5. Not this time. Gets the car down the inside way before Salt and Kepa can even think about it. But up the front, Biddle has decided these tyres are dead. It looks like 1.9, make that 2 seconds now, the gap between Regmeister and Biddle. So I wouldn't be surprised if Biddle tries to come in this lap, try to do some sort of undercut on Reg, just to try to close that gap down a little bit, because I don't think he'll be able to re-overtake him at the way he's going at the minute. We'll give a bit of love to the midfield battle with the two Williams and the Ferraris in it, as Radical is stuck in the middle of it. It'll be interesting with these two Williams guys. We do see Mungo still has that front left wing damage. Will he try to help his teammate fend off the rest of them, or is he going to try to go for this? He does slap on the overtake, as we see Groundsy into the pit lane. So he got the priority.
And Diamond Douchey got the priority as well.
Diamond Douchey gets the priority. He is in that battle, so maybe that makes a bit more sense for the Haas guys. Try to help him with the undercut, but Cruiser is coming. Where's he going to come out in this? Is he going to get out ahead? Should do, because he was well ahead of Diamond. Yeah, that's a pretty simple one for Cruz. So he's happy enough. No traffic ahead to deal with, so he can keep pushing on these hard tyres. Try to make as much inroads as he can. But with now Mongo out in front of that group, it looks like TJ's under quite a bit of pressure from Radicals. Maybe a slight touch there. TJ losing the back end. Radical is not giving the Ferrari man a second at all to breathe, it looks like. As we come back down the hill, should see maybe TJ in the box this time by. One of the very few soft runners that are left. As that gap out in front now is 3.1 seconds. So with every lap, Biddle's basically just making his own situation worse and worse. As TJ does box, Radical thought about it, so did Brett is cool. They both decided to stay out on it. Yeah,
Has basically made this worse for him and staying out on these softs.
I believe so.
I reckon he has. I reckon he's made a big mistake. He should have pitted just after Diamanducci and gone on. Yeah, he's struggling now with these softs. He's almost lost the back end then. So yeah, I think he'll probably be in this lap.
I can't understand why he's given Diamanducci the priority, because he was going for an undercut on the, we'll call them the front pack, but P3 downwards. So I can understand that one, but I'm surprised he didn't go in the next lap. Surely he has to be in this time by, because he's just hemorrhaging time to Regmeister. And at the way it's going, Regmeister can just walk away with this one. So does the Haas driver decide to box? No, he wants to go for at least another tour. So as Sultan Kepa gets the move done on Gary, and Fishsticks gets the priority. One of the 12 lap old softs. I didn't even think they were going to reach lap 7, to be honest, around here. But 12 lap old, they've gotten that far. Surely the hards get him to the end. But Sultan Kepa, it's the one you said to look out for. He's up, I think it's only 3 positions. Yeah, only up 3. But he's kept himself clean. And the way he's making these moves, he could be definitely on for something. At least a podium, it looks like, towards the end of this race.
Yep. They've got the top 12 who haven't pitted yet. So they're trying to go as long as they can. Lexus will be going as long as he can on these hards. So he's playing the strategic and doing hards first, and then possibly going on to a set of softs or set of mediums, depending on if we get a safety car. So if you get a safety car, then probably the mediums. If not, he'll probably go on to the softs.
Well, let's actually talk about him, and he just decides to join the club as well. But interestingly though, Fishsticks came off the softs. He's got on the mediums with 20 laps to go. Do the mediums make it that far, Alan?
How many laps we've got left? Could be. It's going to be a bit tight. It might just get away with it. He's now in for the mediums as well. So yeah, possibly might be able to get away with. And yeah, should be able to get away with doing these laps on the mediums. Going to be tight though. Tyres might give up by then. I'm just going to find out.
Be definitely something to look out for at the end of the race. But Biddle finally decides to call it time on the soft tyres. Gets a fresh set of mediums, trying to chase after Regmeister. Be interesting though, will he try to respond, or is he going to try to drag the life out of them mediums? We see the softs go 13 laps as Regmeister's on them. So if he can stretch this stint out another 5-6 laps, or yeah, 6-7 laps, then he can definitely go softs to the end. But it could be quite a task for the Alpine driver. As Cruiser, he's the first one to box. He hasn't been able to jump Fishsticks, so maybe the undercut hasn't completely worked for him as he intended. I do think the gap though is still closing, as Sultan Kepa, we just seen in the time screens, gets a move done on Snedden, which is vitally important for him to try to push out some sort of gap with that 3-second time penalty hanging over his head. Liam in the Red Bull in behind though, he's getting a bit feisty as Radical picks up another time penalty. It is as you were for the Sultan Kepa, Liam and Snedden. Gary just sitting in behind, patiently waiting for any little mistakes to try to push on them. But now it's all about what can Biddle do on these medium tyres, and when does Regmeister start to think about boxing. Because if he goes maybe a bit too early, he could be under a bit of pressure, but he goes too late, then maybe it could be well race over. Liam is all over the back of Snedden, fighting for this P3. A couple of drivers that haven't got time penalties as of yet, but we will probably see more come towards the end of this race. But will the Red Bull driver try to get past the Aston Martin with the DRS? It's going to be pretty hard. The Aston Martin, though, does not decide to take the Sauber slipstream. Still is only staying on medium, so he's happy enough to sit where he is in P3 as it is. Net P4 though with Biddle, who has boxed. As Radical gets a move down the inside of Mongo, who's still carrying that front wing damage, which is going to be hampering him. And then behind is Bredis Cool Lexus, though, picks up a 3-second time penalty. So it looks like his race could be run. Mongo in behind does not want to give this one up. Looking down the inside towards turn 5. Radical gives a room. Maybe just too much room, because we see Bredis Cool trying to take advantage of that. Had the inside. It's going to be the outside. We've seen it once before tonight. As Radical just about squeezes him. Somehow no contact. Radical stays P8. Quite good defending there through that double right-hander round.
I wouldn't have expected to see a move happen there, because it could go wrong. We saw it last season. We saw it go wrong. And I must admit, I was actually on stream and it did go wrong. Someone did that and 3 wide didn't go.
Sometimes 3 into 1 really do not go, but we see Liam right in behind the Aston Martin decides that we just don't have enough battery to try to make some sort of move work. It's just kind of as you were, and I'm surprised these guys don't have enough battery. You know, see Liam now stuck it on none. Biddle shows what these medium tires are like, setting the new fastest lap of the race. But is it going to be enough to get Regmeister when he decides to come into the box? And crucially for Biddle, he needs to keep the time penalties up at bay. And as soon as I turn away from Liam, he decides to get that move done on Snedden. Just typical.
Always the way.
But after a couple of laps of trying, the Red Bull has finally got past Snedden. So that is him up into P3. But that gap at the front now is 9 seconds. So this could be down to how far ahead will Fishdix be of Sultan Kepa whenever Sultan Kepa does decide to box. Because Biddle should be still P2 once all the guys have pitted. And Remaster on 16 lap old softs. So if there anything to go by, the mediums are definitely going to make it 20 laps at least.
Yep.
Surely he has to box sometime soon.
I bet them tires are screaming at him saying, please get me off them.
And he's deciding to say no as he goes round for another one. And speaking of another one, that's Biddle with another fast lap. So he's really put the pressure on Regmeister now, showing the pace what he has. But unfortunately for him though, he started to catch to the back of this pack, so now he's going to get held up round the outside of turn 4. So pretty nice move. Remaster did not really fight it. We kind of knew that wasn't his battle. And as I say that though,
Coming up the inside.
Down the inside from Remaster, just cannot get the traction on the exit. So Biddle keeps that position for now. Next up for him is Bredis Cool. Needs to dispatch these as quick as he can. See others close. Gary's still in P5. He still can't do anything, but importantly for him though, he's got the battery to play with when he wants to use it, so he could be the little quiet one in this one, just sitting there pretty content where he is, and at the end decides to pounce. So he could be the one to really look out for, I think, with that kind of battery advantage, because it does seem like it is going to last. As Biddle gets down the inside at the last corner, just about leaves Bredis Cool enough for him as Mongo dives into the pit slate right in front, but Bredis Cool defends that pretty well. Biddle having to use up every ounce of battery to try to get a move done on the Sauber. He cannot get it happening, so it needs to be a move probably down into turn 5, as it looks like there might have been a bit of contact there. The contact or a slight bit of lag, but he's got the better exit. This should be a simple one. Down in towards turn 5. It's the nose there. Bredesco maybe slightly turned in early, but it looked all good from there. Biddle up to P8 now. He's really on this charge to Regmeister, and this gap is starting to fall, it looks like. As we have a yellow.
Yep.
Sector 1, it is still decides to call it a night.
Yep.
Just really wasn't for it to be for the V-carb. It looks like Alan just...
No, he must admit has been struggling the last 2 races, Australia and on the pre-season. He doesn't seem to be getting the best outcome with drivers. He seems to have having issues throughout, so well, we'll see more of him during the season.
We speak about him, and then his AI nearly decides to kill everybody from 2nd to 5th. Nothing Stale obviously could do about that one. His AI tries to just kill itself, but they are, as you were, somehow all just survived it. As Lexus gets a move done down the inside of Radical into turn 3. Biddle is still stuck in behind Bredesco, still can't get this move done. And now he's under pressure from Lexus. He turns in Lexus 3 into 1. Doesn't go, lads. And Radical just dives around the outside, makes it the inside with a cutback, takes that P7, but it looked like Lexus kind of caught Biddle sleeping. Biddle reacted to it and kind of forced Lexus to the inside. And at that point, it looks like Lexus had nowhere to go. It was always going to happen. So that might have put a hamper on Biddle's charge to try to get back this lead. As we see Lexus with a big slide. Just about nearly make contact. Biddle down the inside. Give me a better camera angle because I want to see this one. Who's out in front? It is going to be Biddle. Lexus has actually lost out 2 fish sticks as well, so maybe there was a bit more contact than we thought. These top 2 now, Liam and Snedden side by side as well. As were they going? They both maybe got tire locked, and both of them have ran out wide. That's allowed Salt and Kepa to create the gap now of 1.5. But still at the front, Regmeister's kind of making this his own race. 10 seconds now the gap. Surely nothing can stop him now.
Depends on how quickly he can get his pit stop done. And we all know everyone on this track, I must admit, I've done it and a few people on Monday did it, got the entry to the pit lane wrong and got to 10 seconds.
Well, surely that could be the only thing that does stop him now with what we have 14 laps to go. And as we say that, he is in the pit lane. He does get the car slowed down. So this is all about where he comes out. Do the guys in behind decide the box? Because if they don't, they could hold him up.
Gaz is in. Snedden's in. Liam only just managed to get the car stopped.
So that is going to be most people, apart from Radical and Bredesco, that have boxed. And the gap is looking like it's going to stay in around 10 seconds, maybe a bit less.
And
with
Reg has managed
Radical
to get out before Ridley.
So with the contact, Bredesco takes P2 on track. Obviously 21 lap old mediums. He will probably have to box again. Surely they don't go to the end, but now we see side by side action.
There was only 3 cars that were not pitted: Bred, Radical and Lexus.
So that
can be interesting.
Yeah, but that gap now down to 6 seconds since Biddle has finally got through the traffic. That's going to be quite an ask for Biddle to even get anywhere near due to Regmeister being on the softs to the end. So it looks like Biddle will be fighting just for the 2nd place. But there's quite a train in behind wanting to take it off him. A couple of them with penalties like Radical and Lexus. So they're going to have to do a hell of a job. Try to get something out of it. Salt and Kepa all the way down at the back of this pack. Was that just a slow stop, or something happened with him?
I don't know. I have no idea. But speaking of that, Buddhist and Radical are in.
They will take a lap fresher tires than the rest and try to bring something back to their respective garages at the end of this race. Because at the minute they're down in P14 and 15. It's going to be quite an uphill battle to try to get up to the points at least. As you do see Lexus defending from Salt and Kepa. But that gap, as we expected at the front, starting to push out now with their fresh soft tyres. Regmeister, I don't want to say anything too early, but it looks like he could have this one pretty easily, as literally go for a Sunday drive and probably still win this one by 10 seconds. Or what, 23 laps on lap 23. Big winners and losers, as Lexus is one of the biggest winners we've seen. Obviously still on the hard, still waiting for him to pit.
Yep.
I'm surprised he hasn't decided to box already, seeing that the medium guys have boxed in for the softs. But he's your big winner for now. For the guys that have boxed, Diamond Duchy is the one that has gained the most out of this race, and make that just one more as he gets the move done down the inside of Lexus into turn 1. DRS assisted as always, but up to P6 for the Haas, so it's a good showing from both of the Haas guys. Gary is side by side with Ben in the Red Bull. Ben maybe just outbreaks himself, touches the Aston Martin in front, so he loses the rear end, and that costs him that position. So it is now Gary against Snedden.
We've seen this a few times so far this race, so let's see if Gazza can get up there a bit more. But Lexus has to pit, so bring everyone else up one. So at the moment, like you said, I reckon Coach Marstar's got this in the bag, and it's going to be. I wouldn't call second or third yet, because, like I said, Sultan Kepa's quite getting there with the pace a bit with how he did on the pre-season, so he's one to be reckoned with at the moment. So we'll just see how these last 8 laps and Portugal fares up.
Well, there's a 3-second time penalty hanging over his head. If he can get past Biddle, that 3 seconds could be pretty much easily made up. Son Kepa still could walk away with the P2 here, and what a race it would be for him. He said at the start of the stream, he's the one to look out for, and at the minute he is definitely the one to be watching, as he is making mincemeat of the rest of these drivers, passing them left, right and centre. Next up on the target list is Biddle in the Haas, and this could be a pretty easy one coming down the start-finish straight. You see he's not using any battery. He's happy enough to save it up against Biddle, who's both in around the same battery. So with the DRS, with this battery advantage, he should be getting this one made up pretty easily. As he gets round the last corner, DRS will be open, but he probably won't even need it the rate he is going. Gets down the inside, and how early can we say he's took it? He's already took it. And we just finished the start-finish stream. Sometimes this DRS is just too overpowered. Yeah,
on this game it is, yeah, especially on the long DRS straights. You can just feel it as soon as you get in the back of someone and you activate it. You know you're just going to get the place.
See, look like Liam get a move done on Snedden, and Diamond Douchely, interestingly, has split Snedden and Gary up, but for how long? Because Gary's got a move done down the inside, slight bit of wheel banging, but all is fair in love and game. They stay side by side. Gary's done this once before. Can he get it done this time? No, he cannot. Defends pretty nicely from Diamond Douchely to keep that P8, obviously on the worn mediums against a newer set of softs. But now it's all about that top, or that P2 to P3 gap, sitting at 6 tenths. Give that a couple of laps. That could be well out into 3 seconds. Give it a bit.
I reckon Bidley and Fish Sticks are gonna start to stuff for now on these mediums.
I think that is.
Most of Lehman Stedding will end up getting up and pushing, try getting the top 5.
As we can see, Ben and Gary both getting a move done on Diamond, but Diamond's right up the back end of Ben. Maybe a slight bit of touch there. It's lost the rear end of the Haas, but all's good. But that gap at the front is only staying at 5 tenths. If Salt and Kappa keeps running wide, Biddle can stick with him and maybe try to claim this P2 due to the time penalties. I'm surprised actually Salt and Kappa hasn't been able to get away as quickly as I thought he was. I was thinking he could have ran away with this one, as Mongo picks up another one. So make him part of the 6-second club. He's one of 2 members, him and Ben. Looks like though it's just going to be a couple of trains everywhere, which I think we did expect around here. It's kind of a DRS train heaven. As Salt and Kappa does pick up a second time penalty, so that's kind of ended his podium hopes. He needs to pray the Fish Sticks Cruiser gets some sort of penalty. Try to keep at least P3, because at the minute it looks like Biddle will take the P2, barring any time penalties himself. As Cruiser gets...
Right, just looking at it, he's on his last warning, Ridley, so he's got to be careful.
As Lexus picks up one, so they are starting to fly in thick and fast. Expect a few more, I would say, by the end of this one. We did see Cruiser get past Fish Sticks to take that P4, which could be an all-important P3 for Cruiser after last week's P2. So next week then, we could be looking at Cruiser win. I'll say that right now because I think we all want it. Secretly we all want it. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the night. Biddle does stay on the back of Salt and Kappa, and as that happens, we'll give these back markers a bit of love. There's 4 of them. Make that 5. 2 of them are going side by side. It's Yorkie and Bredescull. Yorkie round the outside, still trying to hold it. Bredescull though defends it nicely down the inside, and Yorkie on 19 lap old hards really can't fight much more. As now he's got Remaster right in behind, trying to make this one around the outside. Slight bit of wheel banging. Room is given, still side by side, as Remaster just gets a better exit. Can just about squeeze Yorkie out at the entry at the last sector. But Remaster going 3 wide now. These guys just love it at the back. As now Mongo looks like he's wanting to join the party as well. He's now going down the inside. It just seems like there's a lot of down the inside with his back group. There's 4 of them now. Dipping and diving. Make that 3 wide. As now Remaster down the inside of Yorkie to take P15. Although it's only P15, it's a great battle for P15. As Yorkie and Bread up through turn 4. Bread gets the best of that one, and that should be that. But as I say that, Mongo now decides he wants to join the party yet again and demote Yorkie down to last place. The highs and lows. Literally.
Yep.
What have we got? We've got 4 laps left of this race. This looks like it is going to be Regmeisters to have and enjoy. No silly mistakes from him, and this one is in the bag. And now it's really all down to the last podium position. It looks like, as Fish Sticks and Cruiser look like they're the ones that are going to be battling for it. Ben does get past Gary with the DRS. Runs out slightly wide, so that could be a warning for Ben. So already got a time penalty on his head, so that's just going to add to the misery. And
Slight little problem. Lex has got to pit, otherwise he's going to be disqualified. He's not made a stop yet.
He might have had his fun starting from the back, up 10 positions for now. Obviously, still has the box, so we could be seeing him in the next lap and try to push for a fastest lap to take that off someone. Which I don't know who that would be.
Reg must start gamer. Who's got the fastest lap?
It could be something to think about for Lexus. Just try to piss off someone, really, it seems like. But as we get down to 3 to go, Regmeister commanding lead, 13 seconds. Kind of as soon as he got in front of Biddle, that has been it. Seems like starting on the softs was not the way to go around here, as these soft runners now start on the mediums are starting to love this one. As we see Snedden go round the outside of Liam. Can he make that round the outside of Fish Sticks as well? He's trying to get it to happen. Liam defends the inside well through 2 and 3. Snedden gets the inside for 4, and that should be all she wrote for them. Or not, because Liam decides he wants to stay right there with him. So who gets the best of the braking? Looks like it's Snedden in the Aston Martin. And as I say that, he gets a touch on the rear from Liam, so that's not helping him whatsoever. That's allowed Fish Sticks to get a bit of a gap, bit of breathing room. Now he can attack Snedden's teammate of Cruiser. Coughing fits, gotta love them.
Yeah, I think like you said, Reg must start. I think he when he pitted, I think he's got this win. He's 13 nearly 14 seconds clear of Salt and Pepper. So yeah, I think he played it well. So he'll be another one to watch this season, especially when he's doing like this 15-second, nearly 15-second gap now between him and Salt. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
It looks like this could be a championship battle that we could be seeing. Regmeister, maybe Cruiser, maybe Biddle. If he can keep the qualifying pace up in the race, then a couple of seconds and thirds will definitely help him along. But it looks like now we're just wanting to see this battle for what will be P3 on track. Maybe, because this gap between Salt and Keppa and Cruiser is 5.5. Another half a second in that, and Salt and Keppa will stay in P3 once penalties have been applied. So it is actually crucial for Cruiser to keep the foot going. He's got no battery. He decides to keep it all for the last lap. So it's going to be one mighty push lap for Cruiser to try to get this P3 and fend off Fish Sticks, who also has a full battery in behind. So maybe Cruiser taking a bit too easy, thinking this one is all done and dusted. Might not just be, because Fish Sticks has got the battery going, Cruiser's got the battery going, but all importantly, Fish Sticks is tucked in with the DRS. It's one of probably 2 or 3 chances he'll get on this last lap to get the move done. He's nowhere near in turn 1. The Cruiser wins probably the first of 3 battles we'll see. The next one is going to be down in P5, or turn 5, as Brettis Cole picks up a 3-second time penalty. Fish Sticks, can he get anything done towards turn 5? Doesn't look like anything's going to happen there. But the minute the Aston Martin will take P3, but we will go to the front of the field, because Regmeister, he's had a hell of a race. He's battled with Biddle for the first 10 laps. Once he's got past Biddle, once them softs of Biddle's decide to die off, he's kind of made a mockery of the rest of the field. He's got one more corner to do, which is flat out. So we can safely say now that the Alpine of Regmeister Gamer does take the win in Portugal. Now it's all down to who takes P3, because Biddle should be P2 in the Haas.
Yep.
So Cruiser, he's just about got that gap. He's got 8 tenths to play with, but he's got Fish Sticks right on the rear. So Salt and Keppa will come across the line in P2, but that will go to Biddle. Who takes P3? Is it going to be Cruiser? Is it going to be Fish? Is it going to be Salt and Keppa? It's Cruiser. Takes P3. Fish takes P4 right up the rear end of Cruiser. Salt and Keppa takes P5. Snedden It's kind of a solid race from Sned. Just kind of wasn't to be in some parts. Takes P6. Liam P7. Gary might be a bit disappointed down in P8 with where he was at the start of the race. Diamond Douchey takes P9, and Ben rounds off the top 10, takes the point for the Red Bull guys. As
And
Yorkie,
Lexus has done the fastest lap.
so Redmeister didn't get everything his own way, it looks like. Just gets the fastest lap nicked off him, and Yorkie, Ferrari strategy, I think the guys think there was rain on the way, so there is. Wanting to make sure he doesn't overheat these tires.
Oh.
It looks like.
Cruiser's happy.
I would say he is. I actually made a good
strategy call.
Oh, often a Scottish man makes a good call, but we'll give Yorkie the stream time because why not? Intermediates going for a fastest lap here, as you can obviously see. But Alan, as he does that, what a race we've just had. It's quite a few drivers to think about for the all-important driver of the day. I don't think it's as simple as some people might think.
No, everyone knows doing driver of the day is one of the stressful things to do because you've got to work out everyone's strategy, overtakes. I don't grudge anyone for doing this. This is hard, and you get the backlash afterwards from all the other drivers. Why didn't you pick me?
All I will say though is,
it's your decision.
I know.
Let anybody say anything.
I know.
So we can just confirm Regmeister Gaming takes P1 in the Alpine. 17 seconds to Biddle in P2, and Cruiser makes it 2 out of 2 podiums. So good start to the season for him. Takes P3. Fish takes just right in behind Cruiser. Just couldn't get that P3 off him. Takes P4, and Salt and Keppa takes P5 in the Kick Cyber. So as we finish off there, do we want to get Reg, Biddle and Cruiser into the party?
Just done it.
To get these
Literally just sent them all.
pre-race interviews done. The best part of the night.
Yep.
As we've got 1. Will we get 2? And will we get 3? Hello.
good evening.
Just make sure to include your audio because some people decide not to. Let's quickly go through the incidents because that is quite a lot of track warnings. Kind of expected. As we've got 2. So we're just waiting on Biddle, hopefully to join the party because it'd be a pretty interesting chat, I think, with him.
Oh, good, yeah.
See how he feels, how that race went. Obviously, the pole man couldn't convert it yet again. It just seems to be getting away from him every single time he gets pole. He just can't convert it. So we'll give him a couple of seconds. But as we wait for him, if you want to take P1 and P3, I'll take Biddle if he does join.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
So if you want to start with our P3 man of Cruiser.
Cruise, yeah. If like you said, Cruise in the Twitch chat, I think you actually made a good strategy call with how you've done the race. Just basically talk us through how was you qualifying, and you was having some quite good battles in the race. Just talk us through some of the battles in the race.
Yeah, first off, good evening, guys, and GG's to Regmeister, one up in us today. But
Cheers.
honestly, qualifying again, I think this is roughly where I'm going to be for qualifying, unless I can really pull something together and get a lap on the board. But 5th place was as good as I could get. Seen a couple of drivers in the softs at the start, so I just let them go through and run their race. But being caught up in the DRS train so early on, like 6 or 7 cars, I was tempted, and I did pit extremely early because my tyres were doing not that bad. I was like less than like 20% wear on all tyres, so it was a gamble going for the hards to go right to the end. A, because they are much worse, and B, if it's a safety car, I've had it. But thankfully I kept up with Fish for most of this, say second half, 2/3 of the race, and was able to use him as a magnet to drag me along, and I thanked him later by getting him overtake and stealing the podium.
Yeah, like you said, you were getting on the back of him. You were saving your battery for the last lap, knowing someone came ahead, and so you just wanted to just try and push as much as you can on that last lap to try and get in front of him. And like you see, it has worked. You managed to get in front of him, ended up on the podium. Do you reckon you'll do much better in next week's track? I don't know what next week's track is, because I'm
Because we are
behind.
professional. We're professional, yeah. If I'm correct, it's Canada. So, all I'm going to say is we'll see.
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, we'll see. It's
Do you
Canada
do you like it or not really?
Canada's notorious for time penalties. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
I don't think we're getting Bidley in. Yeah, unfortunately, he's
Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But we'll have a quick few words on Biddle since he's not here. Good P2 from him. Just unfortunate with that battle with Regmeister. We'll obviously hear more about that in a second with our winner. But still a good P2, man. Or still good P2 for Biddle. Helps him in the start of this championship. And hopefully he can push on to try to give what looks like it's going to be Cruiser and Regmeister a good battle in this one. But
definitely
on to our main man, Regmeister.
Hello.
Is that the way you thought that was going to go?
Not really. I was a bit annoyed to not get the pole as well, but I mean, I had one of the McLarens right behind me, as to be fair, it was a bit of just bad timing, to be honest. It completely distracted me, but I'm not sure I had the time really for pole position, and that was such a close margin. But yeah, I wasn't able to get the pole, and then the start of the race, Bidley, you were absolutely cruising on the softs. I was just literally hanging in there as much as I could on the mediums, and I was just able to stick with him enough until his tyres went down, and he must have got caught up with a lot of problems when he pit in traffic, which is why I was able to probably overcut and still come out ahead. But yeah, no, I didn't think it was going to go like that, but it's always nice when it does, because there's usually a safety car or something that messes it up. But yeah, it was very, very nice to see that today.
Yeah, it was kind of a good battle with Biddle while it lasted, but it just looked like as soon as his soft tires decided to go off, you just pushed on, started to race your own race, just created that gap and just kept pushing it out. Was there any worry? We've seen that gap go down 2-6 seconds after the pit stop. Was there any worry if maybe a couple of runners in behind putting you under pressure, or was it always kind of calm and collected to the end?
No, I always when you're out in front and you get that gap, it's difficult to lose concentration. It's difficult to not lose concentration. Sorry. It can be easy to drift off and make a mistake, but you just got to stay calm. Just concentrate on what you're doing at all times, even though you're on your own. But yeah, it was all right. I didn't have too much worry, but I was waiting to see where I came out compared to Bidley at the end of the pit stop. But once I came out of the pits, I could see he was in a bit of trouble with lots of other cars around him, so I was all right from there.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid drive from yourself. Same question as Alan on the next week, Canada. We've already had the track tonight, notorious for time penalties. Next week will be the exact same. How do you feel about that one?
Again, it's a difficult one, very difficult track, like you're saying, with the track limits. So it's just about keeping them to an absolute minimum. I think taking it easy and just not getting a track limit is going to be key. Even if you sacrifice a few tenths in a corner just to not pick up 3 seconds, it's going to be worth it. So that's what it's going to mainly be about next week, I think.
Well, hopefully we do see more of the same next week. Great dominating drive. That is the interviews done. Congratulations on our P1 and P3 man that is in the party. which only means one thing. Alan, you've had a
Yes.
couple of minutes.
Yes, I've just been.
Here's it.
I've literally just what you've been doing in interview. I was literally just been looking at the results and just going back throughout the race and just looking at some of the highlights of people's driving, and there's a few that stand out. You've got the likes of Liam, Diamond Duchy that stand out because like Diamond Duchy started 15th, ended up finishing P9. Like Liam started 10th, finished 7th, but it's nip and tuck. This is one of the parts of co-coms that I hate doing the most is the drive of the day, and it's choice between the two. It's got just from the way he ended up starting where he has, Diamond Duchy in the Haas.
So, Diamond Duchy takes your driver of the day.
Today, yeah.
So congratulations to him. Finished, I believe it was P9, but it was quite a solid drive from him, which leaves us with one thing. Cruiser, you want to do the honours. I know it's not a Monday night, but you want to let everybody know about the socials because you just love doing it.
Well, it's part of my job on a Monday, but
Exactly.
Wednesday is also my job in racing, so I think you should take the reins in this one.
If only I had the list.
You've seen how I've done it. You've heard how I've done it.
I don't
Go on,
listen to
Cruz.
you when you do it.
Go on, Cruz.
I think you can take the first half of that sentence cross today, and it's still valid.
Come on, Cruz. For everybody. Let everybody know where they could do this brilliant race.
Well, suppose if we must, but for tier 2, as well, I'm on the mic. Really enjoyed that race, kept it clean, and hopefully around Canada we see less safety cars. I doubt it because Canada's notorious for that as well. But across our social medias, live on Twitch, twitch.tv/FP Racing League, where we are streaming our race right now. As you are hearing me ramble on Mondays, where you hear me ramble on a lot longer, Wednesday, 8, and on Fridays at 8 p.m. UK time. Be sure to tune in this Friday for our Tier 1 race, where you'll see the Irish Ace Cross today and all of the others in our Tier 1 field take on the Circuit Portimao. And across all of our other social medias, our X account, formerly Twitter, at FairPlayRL. Our YouTube is is also where our races from Twitch get ported to YouTube. Fairplay Racing League, all the one word. And our newly revamped Instagram at fairplay_RL. Also, our social platforms share the same profile picture. You can't miss a thing. And do not miss a thing on Friday nights, where we will see the Tier 1s round off our week in Portugal before we take the long haul to the west and end up in Montreal, Canada for next time out.
This is why we pay you the big bucks, Cruiser, the voice of FPRL.
I try my best.
So, you've heard it there from Cruiser, which only means one thing to do. That has been myself, Crosscrete 1888 in the cause box, joined tonight by
Major Allen 99.
Major Allen. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always. A great race to watch. Great finish to it. We never knew who was going to get podium, but Cruiser decides he wants to take it. But from everybody at FPRL, make sure to tune in on Friday night. But for now, it is going to be a good night.